All right, so this deck list is basically green-white angels, but we have a small black splash for two things. The first is we have a black splash for the back half of Finality, as well as Vraska, Relic Seeker. And then in the sideboard, Butler, thanks for the brand new Prime Support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for shipping your Bezo Bucks this way this month. In the sideboard, we have Duress. And I think this is actually a really big gain for this archetype. And the reason for that is the green-white angels, green-white mid-range deck, in my experience, tends to struggle a lot with the blue-based control matchups, and having access to 4 Carnage Tyrant and 4 Duress and 4 Fine to grind and pick apart their hand seems like a good way to approach that. I assume there's no Land War Elves in this deck because Druid of the Cowl blocks better and it plays better with Find Finality. So you can Finality with Druid of the Cowl out and keep your Druid of the Cowl. Also, like, if you look at the 3-mana spells in this deck that we're ramping to, the odds of you going turn 1 Elf, turn 2 History of Benalia are incredibly small. So, interested to see how this goes. I feel like we often talk on this stream when we're good morning from Europe. Thanks for your help coping with sleepiness. Mad said, hey, thank you for the 9-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for 3/4 of a year. We often talk about in the stream about how when you make changes to an established archetype, you want to be making those changes with a purpose and attempting to solve problems that the archetype has. And I feel like the addition of black into the green-white angels mid-range shell really attempts to do that. I feel like there's a solid theory crafting reason for fitting these cards into this archetype. Hey, Ed Berdreen, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here this month with that. Thanks everybody for hanging out. We got about almost 800 people here tonight. If you're new, my name's Jeff Hoagland. I stream full-time here on Twitch. We play a ton of Standard here on Magic Arena. We also play some older constructed formats on Magic Online, like Modern and Legacy and things like that. If you find yourself enjoying my content, I'm only going to be live tonight for another hour and a half or so, but pretty much everything I stream gets archived to my website and my YouTube channel, and I break everything up there by deck, so you can watch just the matches that you care about. I'm pretty happy just jamming Vivien Reid in here, I think. The opponent's archetype is pretty uncommon for them to play counterspells in the main deck. I could get a backup Shalai there, but Carnage Tyrant ends the game pretty quickly, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab that.
The wilds like I do.
Man, it's so wild to me when people post things like that. I don't like your politics. Man, my politics are tough. You don't like the idea of treating other people with respect regardless of their race, religion, gender, or country of origin. Man, it must get really miserable being that much of a hateful twat. That you gotta come in here and let me know that you don't like my politics when that's where I stand on things. Bugger off. Why are there no infect decks on my website? There's no infect decks on my website because my website isn't a comprehensive list of all decks that exist in Modern. It's a short list of decks that I have played with and have personal preference for. What's going on, Unbanned Twin? Thanks for the support and thanks for using the charity hashtag. Lyra's pretty good. Oh, they have a Bacon Bolt, right? Alright, we'll just get another Carnage Tyrant. Big dumb dinos. Bum 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 bum. Some people would rather talk about magic and not politics. That's my take. Yeah, there's a lot of people in the world that are born with lots of privilege. that get the privilege of not having politics impact their lives. We done here? I think we're done here. All right. God bless. Big dumb dinos. Seal Away sounds great. Conclave Tribunal sounds great. Settle the Wreckage sounds fine. Deathgorge Scavenger seems very reasonable. I'm kind of into Assassin's Trophy as well. Find Finality and Vraska Relic Seeker both seem awkward. Just wondering, I saw a video on YouTube, but no list that would follow. So all of my YouTube videos have deck lists in the video description. So if you go on any of my videos on my YouTube channel, if you click show more, you'll find a deck list in the video description. There's nothing wrong with Carnage Tyrant. Carnage Tyrant is a very important piece of keeping this standard format well balanced. You don't want to play in a world. You don't want to play this format without Carnage Tyrant. You do not want to deal with the Tefris of this format without the Carnage Tyrants of this format. Yeah, so if you look at the mana base that this deck is playing, there's only 12 black sources in it. So trying to play a black card consistently is kind of a non-starter. Seems pretty good. It's got Seal Away. It needs a third land, but like if we find a third land that's a second green source, Jadelight Ranger is going to propel us into the next one. Sounds good. Sign me up. Thanks, Dr. Goldhead. Did I miss a message, Doof Monster? I'm not on my normal computer and I often miss messages here. Who said what? Ping me. Feel free to ping me in private. Looking for another white source. Doof timed themselves out. So they have Bacon Bolt on Exile tier, so I think I'm going to lead on History of Benalia and get that going. If they want to spend removal on this, that's fine for me. How do you feel about tokens in Modern? It's not more popular. If you look on my website, Lil Pappy, and you look under the fan favorite section, there is an Abzan tokens list on there that I actually like a lot. I played that a bit at the end of earlier this year. So black-white tokens in general tends to be a little bit too clunky in my experience, but I actually really like Abzan tokens. So if I play the Jadelight Ranger here, I can then Conclave Tribunal. And I think I'm into keeping another copy of History of Benalia here. Reason I mention it is that I came back from Target and tried gambling on some cons boosters for fetches, and I pulled a Sorin. Yeah, we played the Abzan deck plays Sorin. Sorin's fantastic. Again, no rush to put Shalai into play here because the opponent has 2 Bacon Bolts in the graveyard now, actually. So I wonder if I'm supposed to leave some Find Finalities in my deck post board because my opponent's deck is likely to pull up here. I wonder if they become more controlling post board, which means I want more of my card advantage than I've kept in. Or maybe I'm just supposed to keep all the Carnage Tyrants. Maybe that's it. I'm supposed to keep all the Carnage Tyrants in. Yeah, I agree with that, Mad Sith. The Abzan Tokens deck definitely has some just like fair mid-range deck problems on occasion. Yeah, I have two copies of Deathgorge Scavenger in the board. There's a deck list on the screen via the Stream Decker widget too, or you can type !deck in chat to get a link to the deck list. I think Bogles is a great deck for a Grand Prix, whoever asked that. It's doing something linear and powerful. I've been looking to learn Modern. I'm not sure the best way. You just pull the trigger and play proxy or buy a deck and play a bunch. At least I personally, the best way I learn things is just by jumping in. So I think jumping in is a great way to approach it. I mean, that's a big Drake, but like, I get to trophy this, and the next turn I get to activate Shalai. It was really greedy of them not to Bacon Bolt my Shalai here. I guess they're hoping to draw a red source. This Shalai activation is like almost lethal. This is like 14 here, which means even if they kill Shalai next turn with the Bacon Bolt, I still have 6 in play on the board. So they're down to 4 here. And they can double Bacon Bolt, kill my Shalai plus one of my Knights. But we're still in an okay spot from there. Lisa is the Lisa command. I've been really bad about doing shills today. I'm just like not 100% here. Just like not caught up on sleep from the weekend. Thanks for checking out the sponsor. They're good stuff. In fact, to stop and shill the mattress for a moment, nothing makes me really appreciate having a good mattress at home, like going and sleeping in hotel beds and crashing on friends' couches for the weekend. You don't realize what you got until you're missing it. Just like, well, this is much worse than what we have at home. Are there any birds in here? Been pretty lucky that they haven't actually had birds. For people wondering why I'm not sealing away the Goblin Electromancer, that's because you can't seal away an untapped creature. I have no idea. I didn't name it that. Matt must have. Thanks, the Unseen. They do have my bird luck, you're not wrong. We were playing the blue-red bird deck in Modern the other day and just like kept constantly not having it in the top half of our deck. Yeah, it is a Lisa mattress. It's the one that we have. They're a sponsor for the stream, actually. So unfortunate here that the seal away just like doesn't work on things that aren't tapped. Yeah, that's worth noting, Cheese. Like, I played Conclave Tribunal earlier in this game when I could have played This thing needs to exile a non-creature, right? It exiles a non-creature card. Yeah, so they don't have anything really specific in here that matters. So I'm just going to pick a random one. I just want to make sure it's a non-creature spell. So this is a 4/3, so they're forced to trade here, and then this knocks them to 1. Love you, wife. Get some sleep.
Yeah, right. If you heard you.
I am incredibly quiet. Chat, back me up. I'm incredibly quiet, right? Parasol, thanks for the 9 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. That's a Star of Extinction. Yep. It's one big meteor. Meteor versus Knight. Who would win? Can barely hear me. I should be louder. Is that what you're saying? All right, cast my lethal threat. Your move, Yugi boy. This is all I got. Oh no! This deck makes me miss Shambling Vent, right, Lyradex? Yeah, like, we're not anywhere close to killing them, but, like, we're also not, like, losing this game anytime soon, right? Caw-caw! Caw-caw! Wubwin22, thanks for the 10-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Hope you're having a good evening. Running your opinion on Standard Dredge. Actually, I haven't played that one. That's not something that anybody's added to my queue before. Which kind of surprises me. We hit most of the memes around here. That one hasn't caught anyone's eye, I guess. Towards my build around and a tip for the great content. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate the support. Hope you're having a good evening. There are... How many cards are there? There are 19 cards in their deck. This standard format does not have any creature lands in it. It has some utility lands. It has the memorials in it. But no creature lands. Wow. I like when my divination comes with a 2/1. It's my favorite kind of divination. Come at me, bro. Shishisha. Pocket seal away. Oh, give him the old rusty Shackleford. All right, enjoy the trip down. My legs are tired. It's late and I'm old. What's going on, Tannen? Hope you're having a good evening. So I think I'm actually going to take a hit on this because if they play another Drake, it's lethal. So now I'm going to seal away with this. Come seal away. Come sail away with me. Do 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 do. There are 11 cards left in their deck. There are 10 cards left in their deck. All right. Your move, Yugi boy. This is all I got. We are in fact playing Oblivion Ring Tribal. Whenever people talk about wanting to play this game on their phone, I just imagine board states like this. It's just like, really? You want to play this on your cell phone? Like, this board state doesn't even have a lot of creatures in it, right? It's just like got a bunch of lands in play. Dang it, Bobby. Dang it, Bobby. All right, we might need to kick Magic Arena. Believe it or not, Magic Arena also leaks memory, so you have to restart it every once in a while. We've got huge tracts of land. Play my lethal Druid of the Cowl. Rats. Been watching for longer, but you know I'm in training. Thanks for the thanks for the 3 months, Mikey. Welcome back. This is my Thorn Lieutenant. There are many like it, but this one is mine. They have 4 cards in their deck currently. Oh, please be dead. Please be dead. Please be dead. This one. Exile that one. Good game, opponent. That was a couple of meteor strikes later. Sha. All right. All right. All right. All right. How we doing, folks? Good evening. My name is Jeff Hoagland, and this is Christmas Tea Tree. I'm hanging out this evening playing some Magic Arena. Thanks everybody for dropping in. Up to about 900 folks. That's great. If you're new to my content, I stream full-time here on Twitch. I play pretty much nothing but Magic the Gathering on this channel. We play pretty much only Constructed as well. We play a ton of Standard here on Magic Arena. We also play a ton of Modern and Legacy and other non-rotating formats on Magic Online. If you find yourself enjoying my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. I love what I do here, but the reason I'm able to do it for the 30, 40, 50 hours a week that I do is because of my subs. Those are the wonderful people that keep me employed here full time. Past subscribing, you can also support my stuff by checking out some of my very wonderful sponsors. These people have great stuff. Check them all out. These people, also great stuff. Consider checking them out. Magic Arena is almost back from its nap. We're not done yet. I just was doing a shill break there because Magic Arena was leaking memory and needed a reboot. So let's go ahead and pop back in here with this Abzan mid-range deck. We're just starting with Abzan. That was our first match with it, so we're gonna play 2, 3, 4 more matches with this before we call it a night. Thanks everyone for hanging out. I appreciate it. Remember, if you're one of my regulars and you aren't aware, I've started doing some YouTube exclusive stuff. So I uploaded 4 videos that weren't streamed live on Twitch with different Modern decks over the weekend. I'm going to start doing that on the regular. Hey, Molly is tasty. Thanks for the Twitch Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. So the problem 2-drop isn't that I can't afford a better rig for upstairs. Like, the problem is that, like, I don't want to like buy a bigger desk for this house when I know we're moving in like a month and a half, ideally, or less than that. SPR Brem and Molly, thanks for those Prime subs. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch, folks, and I appreciate you shipping those this way this month. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good Wednesday. Remember, if you're new to my content, you like the way I kind of talk about my stuff or just my content in general, be sure to check out my website. Pretty much everything I stream gets archived on my YouTube channel, and I cut everything up by deck list that we play, so you can watch just the stuff that you care about. The newer house is slightly larger than this one, but more importantly, it's newer. This house that we're in right now is like 45 years old, and it's got like, our choice were like dump a ton of money into this house, doing a bunch of upgrades, or like just move into something that's newer. So we're gonna opt to do the latter. No blocks. Overgrown Tomb is a good rip here. Means I can do this into Druid of the Cowl this turn, which is nice. And like get set up to start Carnage Tyranting before this History of Benalia fully pops off. Just like double Tyrant probably runs the opponent out of the game here. Yeah, I'm fine for a Benalia of my own here, I think. Nah, we're pretty confident we're staying in Illinois. Although the taxes here are outrageous. The taxes on the house that we have right now are like over 8%, and the place that we're moving to will also be over 8% property taxes. But it just is what it is. My job has the flexibility to work from everywhere, but Christy's job has to be within certain cities for the company that she works for, and like this is the nicest of those for us for our other requirements. That is, it's a lot of beef on the other side of the board. So next turn, this History of Benalia is gonna pop off. I think I'm just slamming this and like hoping to hold the door. So if they smash with everything here, this eats this trades here, this chump blocks here, I take 5-9, go to 5. This is really bad for us, because this is going to crank these up to 6-5, which means the Carnage Tyrant can no longer eat them.
Deliver us to victory.
Now, they might just attack with those. Alright, so what happens if I do... If I do this, I'm taking 12. And then that leaves them with these two, plus this, plus this, plus a 1-1. I think I just do this. So they're just gonna have 5 lethal attackers next turn though, so I'm dead. Yeah. I don't know, I could have blocked more aggressively, but that was a really good curve for the opponent. Our hand was pretty good too, but their hand was just like super aggressive. Someone asked about Night of Autumn. For people asking, if you're not familiar, most of the decks that I play on this stream are viewer-submitted deck lists. This is just card for card, something someone sent in to be played. Thanks, Ahmed. I appreciate you taking the time to write that. And thanks for the sub tonight. Hope you don't mind winning. I do enjoy when people send me money to win on occasion. That's nice. All right, so what are we doing here? Conclave Tribunal is probably a little bit slow. Settle the Wreckage sounds great. Trophy's probably like fine. Fine Finality sounds awesome. Vivien Reid's probably not fantastic. Do I want these Seal of Ways? These are probably good for tagging Adanto. Let's give this a try. I'm new to Arena. I've played a ton of Magic Online. Is Arena just for fun? Is there a way to make money in here? Like, no, Magic Arena is not online gambling like Magic Online is. So there is not a way to cash things out of the system like you can on Magic Online, no. They tend to board up with Lyras. Really? I don't think I've seen that out of this style of deck before. My 2-3 is about to be a true powerhouse on this board. You like being able to actually win. You like online gambling. Sure, lots of people like online gambling. Gambling gets people excited. There's entire cities, there's an entire industry based on online gambling. People love gambling. Thorn Lieutenant sweet here. Like, they still don't even really have good attacks. Really? All right, deal. Snap off that trade. In. All right, let's dig for some lands here. Yeah, I think it's right to bin that aggressively. At least you can control it based on your skill, unlike lotto tickets. Yeah, I mean, it's not roulette, but it's still gambling. That's good for me, especially since I have this trophy in my hand. You know, I actually don't know, Dinner Bandit. I think I like the build with Adventurous Impulse in it, honestly. Edgar and the other people that play a ton of Amulet are playing the Trinket Mage build, but I really like the consistency that Adventurous Impulse gives. The Impulse build is the one that's on my website, so you can find my preferred build there, as usual. Does this card have text against me? It doesn't, right? Do I have anything with an enter the battlefield effect? It's exactly Jadelight Ranger, right? All right, I might board out some Jadelight Rangers for the third game because I just want to blank this card. Yeah, you don't use pack center events on Arena, you just open them up. If you have an edge, it's no longer gambling, it's investing. That's exactly how that works. Oh, that's good. That's incredibly good. Vraska's over here like, hey, look, a distraction. I'm gonna double here. Like, I'm not gonna have mana to use the Thorn Lieutenant for a while. Is it? It's 10% luck, 15% skill, 20% concentrated power of will. Something like that. I think the song goes like that. Right? What are your thoughts on the Kiln Fiend style Phoenix deck that you played against in one of your YouTube videos? It might be okay. I don't know. The Ross Merriam's build of the Phoenix deck feels really good. All right, opponent. B. Aggressive. B-E. Aggressive. Do. Do 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 do. Goodbye, friends. Bye, friends. 50% pain. Didn't realize it's been 16 months. B-Mick. Thank you for the 16 months. Welcome back. I appreciate it. Thanks for keeping me employed here. All right, what do we got?
We still need you.
Snubby boy. All right, so I think I just shoot down this Storko, play the History of Benalia, and we're pretty far ahead at this point, right? Like, our Planeswalker is much better than their Planeswalker. Like, our average top deck here is just light years better than their average top deck. All right, so this is taking Vraska off the table, I'd assume. Really? Okay. That's an interesting one to take. Because, like, now I get to up Vraska and then untap and, like, shoot the Conclave Tribunal. We just, like, full swinging my Vraska here. Alright, that's rude. It's like an incredibly good attack, huh? Alright, I can dig it. "36 hours of writing, 18 pages between two papers. I have 12 more to go. My time to sleep has come. Get some rest, Project Swamp." Yeah, this is fine, right? Because this is going to trade, this'll die, this'll kill this on the backswing. So I have their 2-4 versus my 2-2 Menace. And, like, neither of us will have Planeswalkers. Like, my average top decks are much better than their average top decks. Like, they have a bunch of, like, 1-mana white creatures in their deck, and, like, I have Carnage Tyrants and Lyras.
Flash out all you want.
I let Vraska die because in order to keep Vraska alive, I had to, like, throw a bunch of my creatures away. Deckmaster's messed up on my computer this evening. I'm streaming from my Windows 10 computer upstairs, and apparently Deckmaster doesn't work on Windows 10. Yay, Windows. There are literally 4 cards in my deck that the stupid Tocatli Honor card shuts off, and that's one of them. Yeah, right, lads? I mean, like, I'm just asking for that, right? Just, like, point out that we're favored in a top deck race, immediately get out top deck. Just like how Magic goes. Hey, drew a piece of spot removal? No. Alright. Yep. Do 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 do. Want to buy 1 Lyra Yay, magic! Holding one land is fine. You don't want to hold two, especially when like we're working to 2 Shalai activations a turn. There's like dead to a removal spell at any point here. Dead to heroic reinforcements. Yeah, probably dead to that. I mean, we're not dead on board, but we might as well be. We're going to a 1 here, and then we'll be dead on board. Lyra, please. All right. I mean, that card means we're not dead on board. We'll take it. Yep. All right. Need another live one. Okie doke. Can we just like draw Find Finality, please? All right, come on. Come on. There are four copies of Find Finality in our deck right now. And we're 23 cards in without any of them. Yay, Magic video games phased out. Thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back. I appreciate it. What was that? That was a tough beat. That's how Magic goes sometimes. Here we go. Here we go again. Could have known again. Should have known. Should have known. Should have known again. We also had another Subtle Wreckage in our deck. Like we had 4 copies of Finality and then a second copy of Subtle that we could have drawn. So like we had 6 sweepers in our deck and we only had 1 of them in 24 cards. Yeah. Yeah, I have a PO box you can find here. Just make sure you either send me a donation to cover postage back or put a self-addressed stamped envelope in with the stuff that you send to me. And then let me know when you mail stuff, because I don't check my P.O. box constantly. So if you don't say, hey, Jeff, I mailed you stuff, it should be there. I'm probably not going to remember to check. Do you really think playing for thousands of dollars on this client would be good? I mean, like, how is that any different than Paper Magic the Gathering? We literally just had the finals of a Pro Tour get decided in a game 5 where like a player mulliganed to like 5. That's just like part of Magic. Like flooding and stumbling and dying has nothing to do with Magic Arena. That's part of the game. The people that think Arena is out to get them are people that have selective memory bias, or people that don't shuffle sufficiently in Paper Magic or haven't played enough Paper Magic. Like, listen, chat, I just flew across the country to get mana screwed and lose in a tournament. Like, getting mana screwed and losing in, or flooding out and dying in a ladder match on Magic Arena on a Wednesday night is like whatever. There's no cheating on Arena, which is just fantastic. It's very, very good. In the match that in game 3, playing for day 2 of the SCG Invitational this past weekend, I mulliganed to 6 on the play and kept 1-drop, 2-drop, 4 lands. I drew my 3rd spell of that game on turn 6. And I died, and I didn't get to play day 2, and my tournament was over. And that's just like how Magic goes sometimes. Sometimes you spend $1,000 and travel across the country, and you just die. It's just how it goes. Magic the Gathering is a game that has an incredible amount of variance in it. That's how it goes most of the time. There's a lot of the time, I mean, like when you count the times you get flooded or screwed and the times they get flooded or screwed, there's a lot of games where they come down to that. Yeah, correct. Yeah, and there were probably, you know, I remember one of my matches of Modern, my opponent mulliganed to 6, kept a 1-lander on the play, cast a Faithless Looting, and they never found a second land and they died. Like, you know, it cuts in both directions. Is completely true. Would you do more paper tournaments if you were sponsored by the people? Do you know how many subscribers I lost being gone for 4 days? I even did the YouTube only content and like did a short stream on Monday. I dropped 200 subs over the weekend. Like, it ends up costing me a significant amount of money to go to things like that. Twitch is one of those things. The way Twitch works, the more you stream, the more you pick up, and the less you stream, you rapidly drop off. You should never feel bad for beating somebody. You and your opponent both showed up to win, and you should never feel bad for beating them, regardless of how good or how bad their variance was. It's just part of the game. Hey, Adamine, thanks for the $25 tip. I appreciate that. Ooh, where's my dashboard? For your family, for mine, your content has entertained me way more than anything else over a difficult month, so thanks for the hours of entertainment. Thanks for the support, Aimdreen. I'm really bad at glancing at usernames. Amdreen. I think it's Amadreen. Amadreen, is that it? Amadreen? Phonetic pronouncements of names. Yep. Hey, Chris Marquez, thanks for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for the Bezo bucks this month. And for the record, my stating of the amount of Twitch subs I dropped taking Amadreen. My statement of the number of Twitch subs I dropped was not a complaint. It was just more so a statement of fact. Just like, this is what happened, and this is what happens when you're in my line of work and you take that much time off. Ooh. So I think I need to just shoot the Drake here. This needs to keep playing defense. Hopefully they don't have a Lava Coil or a Bacon Bolt, and the Shalai will be able to brick wall the Arclight Phoenix for a bit. When do I think I will stop streaming? We've been playing this deck for about 50 minutes, so probably another half hour, 45 minutes or so, and I'm going to be done.
Most wounds can heal.
Good games, Chris. Good luck in the rest of your matches tonight. So the biggest, so like we actually just got done having a conversation talking about, you know, resource variants and stuff like that and all those things that are built into Magic. And from a competitive standpoint, the biggest reason why players that play Magic competitively are adverse to best of one is because the way Magic the Gathering mitigates resource variance is by making the games best of 3. When you're able, this was a really good draw, by the way, when you're able to play best of 3, that goes a long way towards making sure that resource variance doesn't decide as many matches. When you say you drop that number, do you mean your number of concurrent subs is? Yes, I mean my number of concurrent subs is down by that. I mean, when I left, I had a little over 2,700 points, sub points, and I currently have a little under 2,500, and they may or may not bounce back up. I honestly don't know. That 4 days off was the most days I've taken off in a row since I started streaming full time. Yeah, that's going to be the big thing, Jekyll Girl. Like this ladder test being best of 1 is kind of whatever in my opinion. The thing that will make me worry is if we start qualifying people for Mythic Championships, and if the Magic Arena esports related stuff is best of 1, then I'm going to be a bit concerned. So like for just like the random ladder matches and the ladder test or whatever this is like, it's like whatever, I don't really care. But like if that's going to be the focus of all of the Magic Arena esports stuff, at that point I become disinterested. It's just like, well, this isn't for me. How do you do vacations? I don't. Hey, Bayesian. Yeah, I try to get a couple evening streams in here and there. Usually I do evening streams on Fridays too. So if I play this, I can still activate Shalai. It's important that I activate Shalai this turn because I want to be able to get Shalai outside of a lava coil range because that's their most common way to be able to kill a 4 toughness creature. You're not wrong, Danon. I think Esper Amulet's going to be a really good choice. Hey, DRG. Hope you're having a good evening. Place Sadness on the stack. Sadness resolves. We're so close to stabilizing here. They were going to be forced to chump block next turn, right? Yep. So close and yet so far away. Nah, it doesn't really do that though. It doesn't pressure you to have game against every deck. Magic's not a game that's designed for every deck to be viable in a best of one setting. Magic's a game that's designed with sideboards in mind. So unless they fundamentally change how Magic sets are designed, best of one is not going to be a great choice. I think Thorn Lieutenant's probably not worth keeping in here. It just doesn't block anything meaningful. Yeah, Esper Amulet's one of the many decks you can find on my website. On the standard page section, it's really sweet. If you like taking all of the fun, Esper Amulet is great. I want to play Teferi and Carnage Tyrant in the same deck. Is that a thing? I don't think so. It could probably be a thing once we get Hallowed Fountain in the format and Breeding Pool. We only have one of the Bant Chalk lands right now, which limits the ability to play good Bant decks a little bit. Would players build bigger decks in best of one? Not likely. You just lose a lot of consistency playing more than 60 cards. Fun fact, Sandshrew was my favorite Pokemon of my childhood. In my copy of Pokemon Go, I have a regular Sandshrew and a Lohan Sandshrew that are named Jake and Declan. They're my favorites. So the stat for how many people play best of one on Arena is incredibly skewed because a lot of people don't realize that you can play best of 3. Like I literally tweeted about people not knowing how to play, that best of 3 existed and they could play it, and there were multiple people that responded to my tweet that were like, I didn't know you could play best of 3 for free. Thank you for letting me know. Just like, it's such an issue. It's like, it is not well advertised that they're a toggle switch. Is Twitch chat a Grimer? Twitch chat is actually a Polytoad. I actually tweeted a picture at one point. I have my 6 Pokemon party that are my six of my favorite Pokemon, and Twitch chat's a Politoed. In early beta, there was only... That's true, too. There was a time period where there was only best of 1. And again, for the record, I don't blame... If you're someone in chat who didn't know how to get to best of 3, maybe you just learned now that you can play best of 3 whenever you want, I don't blame you. That's not your fault. It is very much the client's fault that it is not incredibly obvious where to find that. It's not your fault as the person playing the game. Like, the game should make that abundantly clear to you. Is it possible for Mono Red to beat Golgari? Not if Golgari wants to beat Mono Red. The reason why the Golgari deck is so popular and powerful is that it can be built in a lot of different ways, and if you build the Golgari deck to respect the Mono Red deck, it's going to beat the Mono Red deck most of the time. So in the upper right-hand corner of your screen when you log into Arena, there's a toggle box, and if you click the toggle, it unlocks all the game modes. I can show you after this match if you'd like. And again, just so my position is abundantly clear, I don't blame people playing the game that they don't know where that feature is. That's Arena's fault. They have a Spell Pierce here. They must have a Spell Pierce or a Dive Down. Maybe they have an Opt. Yeah, I could just have an Opt. Getting to connect with Lyra here is pretty huge. Lyra can be hard for them to kill. They need to have a Fight with Fire or a Bacon Bolt. Lava Coil's not good enough. Yes, yeah, exactly. The two things Arena doesn't communicate clearly to its users are how to use wild cards to craft cards that aren't already in your collection, and how to play best of 3. Those are two things that Arena needs to make far more clear to the person playing. Well, one more land and we get to slam Carnage Tyrant, but like, we're kind of doing okay without it. I'm kind of into what this deck is doing. The small black splash into the... basically splashing a small amount of black into the green-white angel shell seems really powerful. Feels like it shores up some of the issues that Archetype has. So I'm going to go ahead and Conclave Tribunal, convoking off of the knight that has Summoning Sickness here, because this way, if they protect this Drake from the Conclave Tribunal, I can use the Druid of the Cowl plus the Seal Away to get rid of this when it attacks next turn. They have a maximized velocity, but I'm at 25 here, so I'm going to go ahead and smash them. If they put any creatures into play, they probably need to leave them back as blockers, just because, like, my knights are going to pop off into 4/3s next turn. Yeah, I agree too. It's like there's a lot of people, like Arena has brought Magic to a lot of people who have never played Magic before, and those people are definitely not jumping right into best of 3, right? Like they're gonna work up to it. So like a year from now, we're gonna have a lot more people who are ready to play best of 3 than we do right now, and 2 years from now, we'll have more than that. Like, since I started doing arena stuff on my channel, like, the number of new usernames and subs and just people like that I have picked up that just, like, are here, like, just started playing arena, and it's great, and I like it, and, like, that's really awesome, just, like, how much the Magic community, especially online, has expanded. I assume this is hanging back. The fact that these seal-aways can't hit an untapped creature has been really awkward. So it is technically optimal to play the Carnage Tyrant post-combat, but I just want to press my auto pass hotkey, so I'm doing this. So I actually disagree with you, GRTE. I think designing the game with casual players in mind is actually very smart and important because they're a majority of the player base. However, your things that focus and are being pitched and marketed as explicitly competitive should not involve best of 1 and should not be tailored to competitive player or to casual players. So like casual players are important and they're the biggest part of the player base, and you definitely need to think about them and the things that you're doing, but at the same time you need to correctly be identifying like what your different things are appealing to. Like, I feel like the communication surrounding this ladder update was bad, right? Like, they communicated like, hey, we're gonna have this ladder and you're gonna get to test and show how skilled you are at Magic, and the ladder's gonna let you know how good you are at the game. And then like they're like, oh, and by the way, it's best of 1. And like anybody who's played Magic competitively for a long time knows that those two things go against each other, right? Like, best of 1 is an important part of Magic Arena. It's important that that be a game mode that exists, but to say it's the way you prove how good you are at Magic and show that you're skilled at the game is nonsense. Yes, yeah. So, and again, my talking about the difference between the two isn't to say that best of 1 shouldn't exist, because it definitely should, and it's an important piece of the game, but to say that it's the way that you test player skill is nonsense. Yeah, the tree actually looks really good, and the webcam isn't super focused on the tree, and it makes them look kind of fuzzy. The lights look really sweet in the camera. It looks nice in person too, but I think it actually looks sweeter on the camera than it does in person. Ugh. This is a mulligan again too, right? Just like it needs. So here's how you make decisions with hands like this. You need to ask yourself 2 questions. The first is, how likely am I to hit my land drops if I keep this hand? The second question you have to ask yourself is, how likely am I to win the game if I hit land drops and can play these spells? So not only do I need to draw lands for this hand to work, but I also need to draw spells, right? Because like the spells that are in this hand aren't going to win the game. And if your hand needs to draw lands and spells, it's definitely a mulligan. This hand, for example, is a great example of this hand needs to draw lands, but the spells in it are good and can likely win me the game if I do that. So I definitely keep this hand. There's no guarantee we win or we draw lands with it, but this is definitely a keep because the spells in it are good. Hey, Bright Star, thanks for the 9 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. That's kind of the thought process you want to go through when you're keeping speculative hands. want to be like, okay, what's the risk associated with this hand, and what's the payoff if I hit the right side of that risk? I like Arena because when I scry a card to the bottom and then draw a copy of that card, I can verify that it's actually on the bottom of my deck. Makes my paranoia feel good. I think best of one's just a good inclusion, Bronze Subligar, because Magic can be very overwhelming just at the base game. And like, nobody starts Magic with best of 3. So it makes a lot of sense to introduce people to Magic with best of 1, regardless of if they're coming from Hearthstone or Call of Duty or, you know, checkers, right? Like, regardless of what your gaming background is, you're best off starting playing Magic as a best of 1 game. Please don't lava coil my Druid. Please don't lava coil my Druid. God bless you, opponent. Hopefully this Ranger draws us 2 lands here and we just get to catch back up. Unmulligan ourselves, so to speak. Yeah! I love when my Divination comes with a 2-1. Hey, Cabrito, thanks for the raid. I appreciate that. Hope you had a good stream this evening. Sweet. We've unmulliganed, right? Like, we kept 5 on the draw and we've drawn 2. Just like we drew it up. We do not have triple white, so worth noting I'm not going to be able to History of Benalia plus Seal Away next turn. However, if they play a creature here, they did not. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a real good one. And they only have 3 things in here, so like Bacon Bolt doesn't even kill Lyra here. Being luckier is always a good line. 10 out of 10 agree. When in doubt, luck sack 'em out. Even learned best of 3 exists on the ladder. Ixtk, have a good evening. Remember, if you can't catch all my stuff live, you can always find the replays on my YouTube channel. Everything gets archived and broken up there. Yeah, T-Rod, can't agree more. Magic Arena makes digital Magic smooth in a way I just never thought possible. They fried our bacon, chat. They fried our bacon. Big dumb dinos. Bum ba dum bum 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 bum. What do you think of Esper right now? Just not having the extra shock lands leaves a bit to be desired. The 3 color combinations that only have 1 shock are kind of tough. I think this deck is good. I think this deck takes Green-White Angels, which is a pretty playable archetype, and then solves issues that archetype has by adding black cards to it, which again is the best way to approach deck building in my opinion. You take an established deck and you go, okay, what problems does this archetype have, and then how do I fix them? And I really feel like adding black cards solves a problem that the Green-White Angels deck has. Would it be greedy to swap Druid for? I think so. I think Druid of the Cowl is really important. We have a ton of 4, 5s, and 6s in our deck. GG, opponent. I think Lyra would see any play after it rotates. Yeah, it's probably going to be a staple in the new non-rotating format. Oh, Booba, your donation totally went through. I'm sorry. Excuse the ignorance because I didn't see the stream at this point, but how does the Blue-Red Apex win without Nexus of Fate? It doesn't really win. So for those that may or may not be familiar, I appreciate the tip, by the way. Sorry about that. The reason why I have a Christmas tree behind me is because I'm streaming from my living room this evening instead of my normal setup downstairs, so it's easier for me to miss donations up here, unfortunately. The Apex decks of viewers submitted deck lists like a lot of the decks that we play here, and it was just like more cute than good. Oh, the best of 3 toggle. It's literally in the upper right hand corner. So you see where my mouse is? You want to mouse up by where my portrait is on the screen. There's a little toggle button. You just slide it back and forth. Sure. You think Apex deck with Nexus could work with a host of powered up Drakes on the board? I mean, at that point, I think you're kind of just like playing a bad blue-red Drake stack. That's what it comes down to. I would never expect the Apex of Power deck to be anything more than cute. There's not a competitive reason to play that card other than I want to. All right, Elves doing elf things. They're probably going to be able to kill us here before we get to this finality. The Elf Ball deck's really sweet in this format. We've played green-white elves and green-black elves a few times on stream. Goes off pretty quickly a lot of the time. Yeah, we are very dead. Man, all right, so Tribunal, Settle, Trophy, Vraska and Carnage Tyrant probably bad here. Leave the flying threats in. Is Vivien Reid a card worth playing? Probably not. I'm gonna leave in Vraska's and a Carnage. What's going on, Mr. Silicon? Yeah, catching us at the tail end here. So I'm not planning on adding a normal stream on Thursday nights, but I am planning to be live tomorrow night to try and make up some of the hours for while I was gone. Would Seal Away be good to eat the Mana Dorks? Maybe. I don't know, it doesn't tag Beast Whisperer, which is like the card that I really want to kill more than anything. Tomorrow night's gonna be more standard, Brian, but I think I am recording 2 offline videos tomorrow morning, and I'll have them up tomorrow afternoon. That's my game plan, at least. I'm gonna do 1 Legacy and 1 Modern. I have like 2.5, 3 hours I can kill tomorrow morning, which is not quite enough time to do a full stream, but enough to do a league or 2. Have a good one, Slacker. All right, so Beast Whisperer's gotta go. So History of Benalia. Enter tapped. I can cast this and then Conclave Tribunal off of these 4, take the Beast Whisperer out. When am I playing for the Legacy video tomorrow? I think it's Little Eldrazi. It's in the deck queue. Yeah, so people that are my regulars, I'm taking Legacy decks again for offline deck submissions. So I had pretty resounding positive feedback to the couple of offline videos I did over the weekend. So I'm going to start adding those into a part of my regular content schedule. My goal is to do 4 to 6 YouTube exclusive offline videos a week. Ugh, Vivien's a beating. Shalai was how I was going to break this board stall.
No one said restoration was painless.
All right, so the fact that they killed I think we're probably just screwed here. Like, they have Beast Whisper and this banner. I don't know, they're gonna draw infinite cards here, right?
Strike me, and you strike nature. I'm not losing everything again.
So, like, every elf they cast draws 2 cards. Need to hit a copy of Finality next turn to have a chance, most likely, or Shalai. Alright, I would like one Finality for Christmas, please. History of Benalia, yep. Yeah, they just have 7 lands, though. Just, like, a lot of lands. Oh, you know what? Maybe I'm supposed to... Yep. I love how organized you are. I was about to ask if you had a playlist for YouTube exclusives. I figured you'd probably do, so I checked it. Of course it's there. It is, in fact. I did that this afternoon. All right, new plan. Deck them. Got it? Pelt Collector gains Trample when it gets over 4 power, which is like extra scary. Finality. Finality. All right. I don't know if I'm dead or not. Figure it out. If they don't kill me, they're dead on board, so they have active nurture though, which is terrifying. So like they basically get to play through their whole deck here. So the question is, can they kill me through Shalai and Lyra having lifelink this turn? Probably is the answer. They probably couldn't auto-tap Mr. Silicon because the auto-tapper likes to use the Nurturer sooner rather than later. I've had that issue before. No, I'm pretty sure it's just 4 power. No, you're right. As long as it's 3 or more counters, you are super correct. So this one has trample, this one does not. They could deck here. Drawing these cards is not optional. So, like, they can only play 6 more elves this turn. Oh, only 6 more elves this turn. And I just need to survive with Lyra, Shalai, and a Druid of the Cowl to kill them on the backswing. I think we're dead, chat. All right, so if I block... So I have to block with both my Druid of the Cowls. Yeah, you want to do this on a cell phone? And then I have to draw an untapped land and they die? So if I block like this, I can draw a land and kill them? Alright, my timeout's whatever, so I just take 11 here. Yeah, you're right, I should block this instead because this says this doesn't have trample. So this is the line. Yeah, because their smallest thing's a 7/7, so I have to block everything except this. It, like, really doesn't matter which one I block over here. Land, please. Untapped land, please. Untapped land, please. Ayo! I'm so happy they said good game. Hada! Boop, 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 boop. See, chat, math is for blockers. When you're blocking, you have to do the math. Math checked out, we won the game. Magic the Gathering. All right. Oh, I should have brought in the Sealaways. I totally should have brought in the Sealaways. We talked about that. Ramp spell, Finality. Has a piece of spot removal on 3 as well. It's the final countdown. Do-do-do-do. Be-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Be-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do. I don't actually know how that song goes past that point. I don't actually know what the lyrics sound like. I got no idea. All right, exile that one, please. Goodbye, friend. Thanks for watching, Nipples. Hope you're having a good evening. I think this deck has enough beef in it that you don't really want Karn plus map. This deck already has a lot of 4s in it. Like 4s and 5s. Goodbye, friends. And again, someone was asking earlier why Druid of the Cowl over Land War Elves. Finality is a big part of the reason it gets to live through this. Christy plays D&D downstairs on Wednesday nights, Kent. So I start while her friends are still here and she's playing. I also prefer streaming from downstairs. Half the reason I took that 2-for-1 there is because I wanted a 5/7. Go. Druid of the Swole, right? All right, GG's. That was sweet. I really feel like this match was a good example of the deck's power. I clicked through that. All right, you know, things happen. That's fine. We had another finality for next turn. It all worked out. Let's play. Been going for an hour and a half. I'm gonna play one more with this deck. I'm kind of into what this deck is doing. Like what it has going on. Thanks everyone for hanging out tonight. It's almost midnight cornfield time, so this next one's gonna be my last match. Oh, can I cancel? Can I cancel? I'm gonna move me for a second. This is the toggle right here. So when you default to arena, this toggle is off and the ladder just says play here. When you click on this and it slides to the right, it toggles all play modes on, and then it adds competitive play, which actually means best of 3. So that's why best of 3 has so few people playing it, because you have to slide this toggle over and then know that competitive play is code word for best of 3. Has Thorn Lieutenant impressed me? It's been fine. It's like not amazing, but like just fine. So this hand doesn't have any early plays, and it needs to draw a second white spell. So again, this is a hand that needs to draw lands and it needs to draw spells, so it's definitely a mulligan. Never didn't have it. And then hopefully this Jadelight Ranger will help us find our second white source. So it's possible this finds a shock land, and like that kind of hurts, but I need to just like try and hit my land drop for next turn. Hitting Lyra on curve against the Drake deck is really good. Perfect. Again, it's technically correct to play the Lyra post-combat, but I just want Arena to auto-pass for me, so I'm playing it pre-combat because it really doesn't matter. Cancel. I'm gonna move me for a second. This is the talk. Reid. This is like a good mix for us, right? Like the opponent's not pressuring us currently, so like we're developing our board while still demanding more answers to them. Is that a good one? I think that's a good one. Goodbye, friend. All right, opponent gave up. I think opponent gave up. All right, I'm gonna do one more since my opponent just gave up. Sometimes best of 3 turns into best of 1. I honestly believe you are the best streamer for new players to watch. Your attention to detail while watching, chat, and playing is amazing. Thanks, Torrod. Turod, I appreciate the compliment. Thanks for being here. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Refer them to my YouTube channel. Hey, PK Jeff. Working on a UG elf list for Modern. I was wondering if you could help with the sideboard. I'll probably submit it for a video at some point. Yeah, you should post it in the subs Discord in the Modern section and tag me. Then other people can give feedback as well. Do they count that in the 97%? Opponent's feeling a little Sultai here for our last match. Yep. Assume we'll lose Shalai. Hand is not particularly good against control. Taking our Druid of the Cowl. That's interesting. So losing Druid there might imply that they have another discard spell. Classic Thoughtseize bug. Get in there. Get in there. Outskilled. Outskilled. Magic's great. Low variance game. Am I about to get syncopated? Woof. Okay. This is good. I actually want to play against the counterspell deck because this is finally a Duress matchup. It's a place where we get to really put the black splash to the test. The Thoughtseize bug is a joke. Did I overhear you making legacy content again, Turbo Depths at some point? Yeah, I'm actually just taking generic submissions for legacy decks again. So if you'd like to add something to the queue, you can add stuff to the queue for Legacy, just like any other format on the stream again. So you can submit decks using the same process here. The Legacy stuff is primarily going to be played offline, though, as a heads up. Because part of the reason I stopped making Legacy content was because getting ghosted is really frustrating. So I miss 5 points of damage with this sequence, but I think getting another creature into play to insulate Lyra from a second Eldest Reborn is important here. So I'm going to go ahead and play Conclave Tribunal and get rid of this. Lyra's really good in a matchup like this because she doesn't die to Ritual Soot. So like they need something like Vraska's Contempt. She doesn't die to Cast Down. They need like Contemptor Trophy. This kind of sucks, so they're going to have to pick this up and take my Jadelight Ranger away. Yeah, the offline videos are going in the decklist queue, just like everything else, Kent. In the last column of the decklist queue now, it now lists if a deck is play offline, play online, or no preference. You're 1 land short for that, unfortunately. Can't stop, won't stop, can't. Yep, poor Dino. You are not fast enough, big dumb Dino. Day late and $1 short. Stream with the tree in the background more often. This is probably going to be the only tree stream. It really, my setup upstairs is much worse than my setup downstairs. Whoo, that's a good one. That's a good one. I would like to destroy that. Please put an arrow in it. Hey, Brian, thanks for the biddies. I'll tack those onto Ojutai.
No one knows the wilds like I do.
Ding. Probably a pretty good one. If we list a deck as no preference, it ends up getting played off stream, or will there be a tweet announcing it or some other form of communication? Yeah, Isha, I'm gonna tag people on Discord and tweet every time I put up a, every time I post offline content. There's also a playlist on my YouTube channel that has all of the offline videos on it. I have to kill this because otherwise they're gonna get my Vraska back and kill my Lyra.
Get that out of here.
I think I just picked two things up here. I'm gonna get back Druid of the Cowl plus a Carnage Tyrant. Yeah, I'm just getting back Druid, Carnage Tyrant. Screw it. Now that you're doing offline content, would you take an extra nation to run through a league with someone on Skype and coach them as a YouTube video? Yes. That sounds like an interesting way to monetize and worth exploring. The answer to your question is yes. What would the rate be is something I would need to figure out. But yes, I'm gonna write that down. It is coaching, but I've turned down coaching questions in the past from people because in order to do coaching stuff, I can't turn it into content too. But this would be a way that I could do coaching and still have it be content. It would be with the stipulation that the person understands that it's going to be on my YouTube. So that seems like a good compromise. What do I want to cut here? All of my cards seem good. I only have 24 land, so I don't think I can cut Druid of the Cowl. Oh, maybe Conclave's not good enough. It's just too much of an answer. Yeah, I'm gonna cut the Conclaves. Is it worth being cheaper to try and get more people to do it and provide low-cost content for you? I don't know, Miss Led. So, while coaching stuff like that seems like it's probably worth exploring, I don't know how cheap I want it to be because, it's going to bring in other complications like trying to line up schedules and stuff like that. And also there's gonna be people that will watch, for instance, that won't like the coaching stuff. There'll be some that will too, I'm sure, but there's also gonna be others that would prefer just me. Yeah, I was thinking, Silicon, that like with the asterisk that the person doing it has to understand that it's also going to go up on YouTube. Maybe $50 for a league would probably be good, or like for standard $50 for like the hour and a half that I play a deck for. Something along those lines. All right, so here's the thing about counterspells. You always choose when you want to play into counterspells, and you always get to choose how you sequence into them. So basically I have to look at my hand here and ask myself the question, which of these, so like, would I rather Jadelight Ranger or History of Benalia get countered this turn? I think I'd rather History of Benalia get countered this turn. Yeah, I agree, PK Jeff. And the reason why I'm going to settle on history is for the reason you just said there, that getting to lands is really important with this hand. So the Jadelight Ranger resolving is more meaningful because I'm struggling to hit land drops currently. And I'm going to bin that. Do I want to trophy this? I'm not sure. I can always trophy this in response to the return trigger if they go to pick it back up here. I had to tap 2 green. The auto tapper didn't miss anything. I drew this green source. I'm gonna trophy this disinformation campaign in response. Otherwise, they're gonna get another card out of my hand this turn with it and draw another card. So now they can choose they want Vivien or the Tyrant. If they have a counter spell, they take the Vivien. Or they take the Tyrant. All right, so are they banking on... They could Ritual of Soot me here. Or just, like, have another disinformation campaign. There's a lot of things that cause this to end poorly for us. All right, in. Fair. I'm gonna hold this land because of the potential of another dispersal. That being said, holding the land gets punished by disinformation campaign, so it's not 100% free. This game's probably over. I don't know. I don't hate that down tick. Especially with, like, Eldest Reborn in hand, that down tick seems fine. Alright, are we done here? Done here. Alright, game 3 on the plate. Alright, this will be my last game of the evening. Thanks everyone for hanging out. I think I'm happy with how I've boarded. Yeah, I think so. Let's run it. Guess I'm keeping this. This hand, like, kind of gets picked apart by a thought erasure. The Carnage Tyrant's a good draw because it gives me extra threat density here in case they discard spell my Vivien Reid. Obviously, I need to draw white mana with this hand. They might take our Druid of the Cowl here, depending on what their hand looks like. Like, if they have a disinformation campaign, taking Druid of the Cowl kind of makes sense here. Yep. White sources, please. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, I do a bunch of standard on this channel, Great Scott. You can find a ton of standard videos on my website here, along with on my YouTube channel. I'm gonna discard this Lyra to this disinformation campaign. Really? Really? Just shock in and pass. All right, I'm not gonna play Vivien Reid into a counterspell. Just gonna go ahead and pass here. There's no reason to play into a sabotage. You did, Isha. You did. I have those. I think it's right to just keep sitting here. Feels kind of bad, but I think it's correct. Deal. Come at me. They took the Carnage Tyrant instead of the Finality. Land, please. Land, please. I'm gonna get syncopated and feel real bad here. Stroke. Okay, sure.
Okay, so you've got claws.
I like forcing them to have the 2-mana counterspell there. I think that's worthwhile. I think this is fine. They were representing the sabotage earlier when they shocked on 3, and I think it's fine to play the find into it there since my hand is so stacked. So, like, they've played their first 3-mana counter here, so I'm just going to jam into the next one next turn. All right, come on, come on, come on, land. Untapped land, please, come on. Ew, hey-oh. It's the white source, too.
The wild wasn't meant to be contained.
They have another Eldest Reborn. This could end poorly for me. I guess even if they have another Eldest Reborn, if I just, like, draw a land next turn, I can Relic Seeker it. So if they have another Eldest Reborn here, I need to draw this. That's not even that big of a deal. This gives me a really good chance to hit a 6 land this turn. I think we're ahead at this point. It feels bad to take a land over a Carnage Tyrant, but I definitely just want to stick her this turn.
Make your captain proud.
Have a good night, Dim. Almost, this is going to be my last game here for the evening. Thanks everyone for hanging out through the end. I appreciate it. I'll be live again tomorrow and Friday night with some more standard on Arena. You can always find my schedule on my website. And as always, if you can't catch it live, be sure to check out the replays on the YouTube channel.
Show no mercy. So it's going to be like that, huh?
Was there a point on down ticking on their pirate so you could 3-drop plus Shalai next turn? Maybe. I'm probably gonna die to their stupid Vraska here, huh? No, tomorrow night's gonna be an evening stream. I think I'm dead to this actually, which is sad.
Wilds are my shield.
Yeah, I'm just dead. Oh, this has menace. Okay, let's start with that. Shh. 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 I knew that. I knew that it had menace. Alright, if they don't have a removal spell, I'm alive. Any removal spell kills me because they ult this and then kill one of my blockers. Hey, Gokai, thank you for your service. Glad to know you're back safe. So this has first strike and lifelink. So even if they put me to, this is the one that sets my health total to 1. So if they put my health total to 1, I can double block, and then I'll first strike up to 7. So they have to have a removal spell here. If I can block one of their pirates with my Lyra, then yeah, it's the you're thinking of the other Vraska. All right, so we're no longer in a good spot, but we're not dead on board. So, like, you know, it's the small things. Yes, you're correct. The first strike doesn't matter there.
Scars are lessons written in skin.
Yeah, I boarded the conclaves out, which might have been a mistake. Is there a dino in here? There is a dino in here. God bless. Oh, you know what? Was I supposed to hold that land for this stupid campaign? Probably. And maybe I'm supposed to keep that 2-1 back in the event of, or they have negate? Oh, they have sabotage off the clue token. What a beating. Woof. Definitely made a couple of small mistakes this game for sure. I think I'm just supposed to do this. I don't know. She's just gonna gobble her up. Maybe I'm supposed to play the History of Benalia because I'm okay. I'm okay. I know how this desk chair works. Maybe, probably not. Have I mentioned that I like my battle station downstairs better than this one? Woof. Yeah, good games, opponent. I'd have to go back and watch this game again. I feel like there were enough small decision points that game that there's no way I played it perfectly. Yeah. I liked a lot of what this deck was doing, though. I feel like if you're someone... Excuse me. If you're someone who liked green-white angels... that mid-range deck, I feel like this is a pretty okay direction to take that archetype. Find Finality and Vraska are just like sweet splashes at the top end, and access to Duress as well as the grindy card advantage from Find Finality gives this archetype play against the blue-white Jeskai control style decks, Esper control, in a way that traditional green-white angels just doesn't and really struggles in those matchups. So if you're someone that's liked green-white angels in the past but maybe put it down because of difficult control matchups, I think this is a reasonable direction to kind of take the archetype in, and I think it's probably worth exploring. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll be back tomorrow evening. I think I'm going to be live about 5:30 Central Standard Time with some more standard on Arena. And I'll also be live about 1:30, 2 o'clock on Friday as well. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll catch all of y'all later. As always, big shout out to my subs and resubs. Without all of y'all, I wouldn't be here doing what I do every night. So thanks for watching, folks. And remember, if you missed any tonight's stream, you can find it all on my YouTube channel. And if you're watching this on YouTube in the future, be sure to smash that like button, ring that bell, and leave a comment down below. It's almost like I'm a real YouTuber now, chap.